back to the Kyle Petty Show. I am your host, Kyle Petty, and this time I am joined by my pal, Christine BOEHM, who directed the 39 Steps at Theater 3, which is running until, what is that, May 3rd. May 3rd. Yes, so welcome to the show. This is a really long time coming, so thank you for spending the time with us.
Thank you, Kyle. Like I said to you earlier, long-time listener, first-time caller. I could not be more grateful to be spending this evening with you.
I am so glad. I'm so glad. So for the people who are not familiar with the wonder that is the Lady BOEHM, tell us some things about you. Who are you? What do you say to a group of strangers for the first time?
Yeah, normally I start with the name, which is, as you said, Lady BOEHM is what I go by professionally. Now,
Yes.
I'm a director here on Long Island in the Long Island theater scene, directing for 11 years now. I'm a performer as well, so my background is in BFA in musical theater. And then I have a master's degree in nonprofit arts management. So I like to approach theater from just an academic, excited way, a forward-thinking, sustainable way. I love learning more about what a healthy relationship with theater can look like year over year. So it's lovely to have so much of my life in theater, of course, and then also some hobbies and things like that outside. Anything that those like creative and learning based is kind of where you can find me.
I love that. So not only super talented, but also massively educated. Okay, you're not gonna get one past us, right? So
That's exactly right. I'm working
that's
like
right.
a doctor.
I love it. So let's play a little game first. Like break the ice a little bit.
Yeah.
I need to know: do you prefer guac or salsa?
Guac.
Excellent, thank God. Passenger or driver?
Driver. Bless my passenger princess husband.
I know. Like, listen, I love to be a passenger in theory, but I always cringe. I have to close my eyes. Like, I'm a bad passenger. So, like, I get
I'm
it.
loud about it. I'm loud.
No, I try to be quiet. I want to be that person.
And I'm gagging too. I got a little car sickness.
No, that's way too much. Like, you know
Get me
what?
behind
Lay
the
down. Put you in the back cab. Yes. Like one of those little eye privacy things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't even pay any attention. I love it. French fries or onion rings?
Onion rings.
Really?
Unless it's a very crispy fry. Like I could do a shoestring with a seasoning, but I'd prefer a crisp to my onion ring.
Not a shoestring. Because it's so very specific. So steak fries are out.
Mush.
Yeah.
Just
Right?
crusted mush.
Right. And the crinkle cut ones, they're also pretty terrible as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never met one I liked.
Right. It's just too much Tato. It's just too much.
I'll just make it mashed at that point. My God.
Exactly. Vacation or staycation?
Ooh, I love traveling, so I'm gonna go vacay.
Do you like coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Hot or iced?
Hot.
Thank you. Now, what's your top bagel order? Somebody says on Sunday morning, we're a little hungover, we're going out for bagels. What does Christine get?
If it is my go-to now, if it is a Sunday hungover kind of a meal, I'm doing an egg bagel, toasted vegetable cream cheese, and 4 to 5 slices of thick bacon on top. It has everything. It has
Why
the
are we
two.
vibing like this? That is
It's decadent.
mad good. I need to know how you like your peanut butter. Smooth or crunchy?
I think you'll hate this answer.
Christine,
but it
don't do it.
depends. It
Christine.
really. I said long-time listener, but I happen to forget the answer to your preference here, and that makes me sad that I can't even appease you right now. But I'm gonna go with my heart, and that's when I'm eating peanut butter, I want it crunchy.
Crunchy
Was that the wrong answer?
is the correct answer. Crunchy is the only way to go. What do you
Yes.
mean? Oh my gosh, a good crunchy PB, that's the way to go. I feel like I'm having a proper sandwich. I
Yes.
tell everyone else is smooth, smooth, smooth. And like, what, you just want a mouthful of goo?
Ooh,
Like,
it's true.
yes. Like, no, that's not what I want. What's your
Yeah.
favorite brand?
I will do a Trader Joe's brand, the natural.
Okay, all right.
You have to mix it up kind of a thing, but
Yeah, I don't
that
know
on
Trader
like
Joe's, so I
an
can't comment.
apple or a PB, like a PB&J. I was not a PB&J child, and now in adulthood, let me tell you, an Uncrustable, and then you put a little crunchy on the outside as like a little icing almost. Hold on now,
Stop. Like
we're
an
getting crazy.
uncrustable PB Pop Tart.
Oh my gosh,
Oh, wow.
that
Oh,
sounds
that's very different. Hold on, hold on. I have to write this down. Okay, so let's really get into business.
yeah.
Let's talk about the 39 steps. You directed this at Theater 3. Tell us some things about this show. It sounds wildly unique.
Yes, it is. It's a ton of fun. It is a madcap sort of spy mystery where four actors play. People love to say it's like over 1,000 roles. It's really not. There's much less than that, but they play a tremendous amount of roles amongst the four of them. And essentially, the plot is one man, Richard Hannay, played by Michael Amon, brilliantly so and devilishly handsome, goes on a race to sort of prove his innocence because he is accidentally caught up in this murderous spy ring in 1930s London. So it is so much fun, very silly. People like to say like Alfred Hitchcock meets Monty Python, very silly British humor, but also it's directed by an American at the end of the day. So I do think there's a little something for everybody in there.
Right. Oh, I can't wait to see this. I'm really, really excited. Can you tell me, do you have a favorite moment in the show?
I do. There is a moment where our two clowns, played by Jay Hughes and Dan Schindler, they are like two sides of the same apple. I don't know. What a horrible word.
Coin.
Good, two sides of the same coin. Yes.
Yeah.
They are just twins on stage. They have this brilliant synchronous sort of chemistry. And they do this scene where, in the course of 2 minutes, they play six characters back to back to back to back in rotation, in succession. So
That's
it
so
is
wild.
so wild, and but it is so much fun to watch. And you're just, as an audience member, your eyes are just taken back and forth, and you're giggling because you're building. And oh no, is somebody going to drop a hat? Is somebody going to trip? What's going to happen? And it is so fast paced too. And they've got these different physicalizations, different accents from Scottish to Royal British, like Royal RP. It is fascinating. It is so much fun. And the two of them specifically are just such unbelievable talents.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay. Now, obviously, we've talked a lot about how there's so many different characters in the show while you've got a cast of four. So,
Yes.
what were one of your biggest challenges as a director, kind of like wrangling that situation?
Definitely. It was a challenging piece for sure. I've done the murder mystery before. I've done four actors play more than one character before, but I've never done them in a situation quite like this. So I do think for me as a director and as a person, my biggest challenge is always the control and that I try to take over a space. I there's nobody that I had growing up as a director that looked like me or worked like me. And so I had to sort of kind of devise my own path through a lot of wonderful mentors in this space, of course. But control is something like I've built this thing, I've built this style of directing, of running a rehearsal space, and I'm so desperate to keep it that, precious and safe. But my biggest challenge was kind of letting go and letting myself be guided as much as I was guiding the show. And I had no four better people, plus our fabulous stage manager, Melissa Troxler, to experiment with letting go a little bit in the rehearsal space and just seeing what could happen. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that, but also
Yeah,
this
yeah.
cast for making it so easy on me and so collaborative from start to finish.
I love that. That's awesome. And I also like that you mentioned a little bit about your creative process there, how you've learned from some other people. That's kind of what helped guide you through this process. So tell
Yeah.
me a little bit more about how your creative process in this production went. I was speaking to Matthew Sirico, my good sis,
Yes.
and he was basically saying how Jay, there were moments where they would take their hat off and there was somebody different and put the hat right back on, and now there's somebody different. How did you navigate directing that so that in a way that character would be different enough that the audience would notice this shift?
Right. Well, we started with table work. We started, which is a rarity on Long Island at times to have a process that allots for table work, which is, for those who don't know, we sit around a table and just that. We work through scenes, through characters. We talk about the importance. We talk, Jay's a great example because and I don't think they'll think this is a reader or anything, but they're a very outside in actor. They like to physicalize first and find find the intention and motivation through how their body physically changes, how their voice might change too. And I think that's a great example also of that experimenting with letting go. Those beginning rehearsals were a lot of me not necessarily seeing 100% eye to eye with one person's interpretation of one element of their character, but trusting in the process and, giving us all time to see what sticks, see what we're not just laughing about on night one as a group, and because there was so many laughs during that process for sure, but what are we still laughing at consistently third night into tech? What needs to be trimmed? So at the beginning, there's a lot of space for discovery and collaboration. Everybody's voice is important in a rehearsal space. And it sort of melds into, I think Walt Disney used to call it plussing, but that's kind of what my role developed into with this group as well. They are such skilled performers. And by a certain point in that rehearsal process, I was just like, I think this could be funnier if we tweak this moment, or wait a breath longer, or stamp your foot as well when you're on the line, that sort of thing. Those plussing moments were so much fun, but you are locked in as a director from the moment, from the first go, and you're just watching the intricacies to make each moment as funny as possible.
I love that. I love the idea of plussing. I've never heard that before, but it sounds to me like we're just amplifying what is going on and just offering a slight tweak. I'm not trying to change what you're doing. I love what you're doing, but let's just do it slightly different. Just tweak it just a little bit to make sure that we get the most impact from your intention.
Absolutely that.
Awesome. That makes me want to be in a Christine Bone show. I gotta
Please.
Say like makes me want to be. Now you've directed a number of different productions here on Long Island. Is there anything that you can highlight as one of your favorites?
I have a lot of favorites. This is like choosing between children, although there are some children that I'd prefer never to look at in the face again. But
we had our experience and we're done.
Exactly.
Yes.
But I directed a production of King Lear not too long ago with Linda May as the title role, who's an actor here on Long Island. She's a prolific figure in the Long Island theater scene.
She
Yes,
sure is. Yep.
she
Love
is
her.
a glorious person and another glorious collaborator too. Where I think I bombarded her in the dressing room of Side by Sondheim, which I directed a couple years ago too. And I said, I want to do Lear, and I think that you have to be Lear. And she was like, she was mid lipstick, and she's like, let's do it, and did not even break stride putting the lip on. That was a special experience. I got to do this celestial witchy vibe. It was really kind of threw the patriarchy on its head of that story and challenged perceptions of what these characters could look like and sound like and interact. So that was so much fun to work with that cast. Another group of just really devoted actors and collaborators.
And that was at Carriage House, right?
Yes, that was at Carriage House in 2023, 2024 maybe.
That feels like so long ago, but it really wasn't. But I remember seeing the posts about King Lear. That feels like 7 years ago.
Exactly.
But not.
Yep.
Now you've got extensive experience on both sides of the stage. Would you? What would you say is your favorite, or can you say? Do you prefer working as a creative or working as a performer?
It is. I guess the better way I can answer this, because again, kind of it's like two sides of the same me. I am attracted more to the makeup, the essence of a project, than I am to what role I will fill in that project at this point in my life. So is it a production that I trust the people involved, or if I'm directing, do I know I could get a good group of talent and a good group of collaborators, kind people to work with. And then as an actor, am I trusting the director? Do I kind of have a sense of who else will be involved? Do I trust this process that will be safe and healthy and good for me to be a part of? And am I getting paid is the other piece too. If one of those is yes, then you can probably find me there. But more so, it's leaning towards that. Does this make me feel good being an artist participating in this project?
Excellent. So tell me what some of your favorite shows and roles have been as a performer.
Yes. Oh, gosh. I got to play B in Something Rotten at Theater 3 not too long ago, and that was a really special experience. That is a combination of two things I love, musical theater and Shakespeare, in a comedic setting and way, and that was so much fun. I did her song Right Hand Man at my college audition, at my college like showcase after I graduated my undergrad, and to be able to revisit so many years later as a more confident performer, as a person who's much more grounded in the work that I do and less precious, I think, about perfection. It was lovely to be able to be so silly in that role. And then the Shakespeare stuff too I've done. It's also just, it fills my soul. It is like poetry in motion, and it tickles my brain in many a way.
I love it. So what is one of your favorite or funniest like on-stage memories that you have?
Yes.
I guess for you, it doesn't have to be on stage, right? Because you've worked so much as a director too. So just one of your favorite theater moments.
I love this question. There's one that always sticks out for me. It was my first show on Long Island, because I didn't grow up in the Long Island theater scene. I really only entered it after college, and we were this was at Smithtown back when Ken Washington was the artistic director, and he did a production of Shakespeare in Love there, and that was, again, my first time meeting a lot of these Long Island theater people and personalities, and one person in particular was in that cast named Mark Cahill, who you might know. And I know, and we were doing... It was final photo call, and Mark and I had iconically horrible time working together, meaning we could not stop laughing when we were on stage together. It was unprofessional. It was childish. I never had an experience like that before. But it was final like photo call for the run, and Mark at one point had to come out from the trap door on the Smithtown stage, and so they're taking photos live, and his character is coming out from the trap door. The camera is on me, and I look, and Mark Cahill's pants are around his ankles because they just simply fell down as he stood up. So there is a picture of me like as Queen Elizabeth, trying to keep it going and having just been given harsh feedback to stop laughing. And I was like, I'm just throw up. If I don't laugh, I'll projectile vomit off the stage right now. I love a costume mishap, as long as everybody's okay at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, how funny is that?
I love any mishap, quite honestly. Like, mishaps are really some of my favorite memories that come from Long Island theater.
Yes.
Do you know Rogue Hertz?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So I haven't spoken to her in years, but one of her mishaps is what really sticks out to me. Like, it's one of like my favorites. We did A New Brain together over
Love
at Cap
that
Plain.
show. Ooh.
I have been trying to get Jess Tanzel to do that show for years, and he keeps saying it won't sell. He keeps saying it won't sell.
Let me call.
Exactly.
He didn't pick up.
I know. Because he already knows what we want to talk about. It's like, I'm done with the New Brain conversation.
Stop calling about it.
I'm going to block you. But like, maybe you should direct it. Maybe that's the new way to come at it. Maybe he just doesn't want to, and he's just not being that honest about it, right? Maybe he's just like, I won't sell, forget it. But we need a reapproach. But we were coming out of that. What song was that? It was coming out of the in Act 2, where there's that moment that like is a kind of a hallucination.
Yes.
Yes. And we were coming out of that, and we were all wearing black. And if you know Cap Plainview, what it used to look like, you had the stage, and then to stage left was where the pit was. Mm-hmm. And the stage was really just like a platform on the floor. That's kind of how that was set up, right? So she was walking off after this hallucination thing. She's like, ooh. She's backing up. She backs off the stage, right? She literally goes ass over tiara, right? Like into the pit. Like she hit the drums. It was like this whole band was so she was perfectly fine, but the image of just her just like rolling back and like now but you're still on stage. You have to act like you didn't notice this. It was just the funniest thing because he's already doing the stupidest thing possible. Like actually, like that is just one of my favorite things. I'm like, yeah, well, listen, we love when people mess up. Like,
of course, it's the funniest thing that can happen.
Yes, it's a good time. I remember, like, usually at this point, I ask people like what they've got coming up, but we know a little bit about what you might have coming up because you have a wee bit of an announcement, right? You're
I do.
reviving a past project. Tell us some things.
Yes. So about 5 years ago, during COVID times, trigger warning, I started a podcast called Feelin Lit, which is Feelin L.I.T, standing for Long Island Theater. And it was basically the whole premise was I talked to people in the community, listened to stories, and I love having, much like this podcast serves, love having an opportunity to talk about theater, nonprofit organizational theater in a constructive, positive, funny setting. It was just a treat and a joy. And to have sort of this library of Long Island theater history too, you know, talking to people like Scott Hofer, Linda May, having these conversations with individuals and hearing just what they could share and their wisdom and their mishaps and stories. So that was mostly about their theater experience and people that they love working with, shows that they love working on. But I'm going to be coming out with a season 2 this summer. I'm very excited. It's called Feelin Lit Season 2, Dinner and a Show. And the premise is I take out a member of the Long Island theater community. Totally on me, don't worry, tabs on me. We go to dinner, we go see a show here on Long Island, and then we spend a couple of minutes talking about what we thought of the show. But the meat of the episode is on that person, their contributions to the community, the theater that we're going to, learning about the history of the show. So just kind of touching on the whole gambit of elements that could pop up when going to see a show on Long Island. It's such a special experience, and I love the whole dinner before a show vibe.
Yeah.
So you got a cocktail, you dish over spare ribs about such and such and so and so. But again, I love talking to people. I love what you're doing with your platform, and I love the idea of being a sister show in the sphere that again, nothing but love and support, and which is why I'm hoping, Kyle, that you will be a guest on Feelin Lit Season 2 Dinner and a Show.
You don't even have to ask. That's an absolute yes. Of course I would love to do that. No, that sounds like an absolute blast. I can't wait. I can't wait. Yeah.
I'm so excited. We'll pick a show. I'm hoping it's going to be Young Frankenstein.
I don't see why it couldn't. Like, absolutely. Let's do it. Yeah, you let me know when you want to go. I generally plan to be at most things opening night. I did miss the opening of 39 Steps because I was away. I had a friend's birthday out of town. It's like, but I'm coming Friday, so like I'm going to be there. I'll be there. But yeah, you let me know exactly when. We'll absolutely figure that out. That sounds like a blast. And I'm so happy to have somebody else in this space to collaborate with. Exciting. Where can people find some more information about Feelin Lit? You know, because if I did my research correctly, you know, you did about 15 episodes, you know, between 2020 and 2021. Tell people where they can find that so they can kind of get excited about what you've got coming up next. And
Absolutely. So you can find that on Apple Podcasts, really wherever you find podcasts, but SoundCloud is also where I host and post through. So Feel free to follow me on SoundCloud. Everything is free right now. There's no paywall. So right now, I said, because I am looking to get a check at some point. I don't know how.
Listen.
But no, it's truly a labor of love at the end of the day, and just a lot of fun to do. So yeah, SoundCloud. You can find me there. We've got incredible episodes from people like Jeffrey Sanzel. You can listen to an episode of me and my now husband David DiMarzo before we even started dating. Our like one of our first awkward conversations together.
Oh my goodness, I can't
is
wait.
encapsulated in a podcast episode. It's incredible.
That's awesome. Now, where can people follow you on social media to keep up with everything that you have going on?
God bless. I know we were talking about this earlier. I am rarely on socials, so email me. No, but you can get me, follow me on Instagram at Christine BOEHM, just my first name, last name. And then my website's christinenboehm.com. Is that true?
Excellent.
I think that's true. But you can also
I hope it's true.
I know. You can get episodes of Feelin Lit on my website as well.
Oh, excellent. I didn't even know you had a website. That's wonderful. Good.
we
Christine and Boehm. I'm going to be checking that out after we hang up. Excellent. Listen, this was an absolute blast. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'm very, very grateful. I can't wait for Feelin Lit.
Yay!
I think we're going to have a blast.
Yes.
I can't just be walking around Port with you, drunken, just talking about different things. I can't wait.
With the little mics, with our little, beep.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And you have all right. So I have these other little portable mics that of course, they're not in front of me right now because I wasn't really prepared for this. But they don't have the little poof at the end. And it's like, I specifically ordered microphones without the poof because I didn't want to be like everyone else.
I hear you.
Also now feel like I am less than because I don't have a poof.
I understand.
Yeah. Part of me wants to like just order another one because I want the proof. Like the sound quality when I do use it is great. I have no complaints, but I'm missing the proof.
Yeah, get the poof. Order Temu the poof. Don't Temu, please.
No, I don't think we're supposed to do Temu anymore.
We can't Temu. No, we can. I don't know. Maybe there's a local mom and pop that sells the poof. You can get it at.
Hello. Do you have the poof?
No. They hung up.
Basically, oh damn it! That's so stupid. Oh, but this was great. Like, thank you again for being here. I love you so much, and
love you.
Yeah, just thank you, and I'll be seeing you very soon.
Yay!
Yes.